Ooh, I'm in the wrong place. Get ready, fellow content conjurers. We are about to unveil the mystical wonders of the Stream Deck's secret society, introducing you to the art of folders and multi-action wizardry. After this, you'll be armed with magical prowess to elevate your content creation, streaming, and productivity. Prepare for a magical journey that'll leave you spellbound.
Welcome to Content Creators Connect. Here we are all about encouraging the 3 C's: connecting with others via video, content development that helps you build your personal brand, and we are creators sharing our experiences despite our difference, our distance.
And the C3 team member leading the discussion this evening is Miss Dori. Known to everyone as DSpence, and is using her superpowers to install confidence in those around her and helping others to become experts in their own adventures.
Well, guys, I am really excited about tonight, and I have an important question that I'm curious about. So, I would love to know what types of automation and time-saving steps you both do for your streams. Are you a Stream Deck user? And if you are, how are you currently using it in your streams? And if not, do you use some other form of automation and or streaming to streamline your workflow? I'm going to hop over to Manny first.
Awesome. Well, as I've shared with you, I am super excited about what you're going to be sharing because I have a Stream Deck. I have this thing ready. And I can tell you right out of the gate, I don't use folders. So I already know I'm going to get some value, but I use this thing in all my productions with clients and everything. But from the sound of it, I might be taking the long way about it when it's already saving me time. Like literally, this thing saves me a lot of time. And so with using this, I totally see where you're going, but I don't use these folder things. So I'm really excited about that. That is a time saving. That's probably one of the biggest time savers. I would say I also use Google Docs a lot as my, when it comes to stories and sharing stories, a lot of time I'm reading a lot. So I'm creating my story. And so I kind of use Google Docs a lot instead of using a teleprompter. that's kind of my teleprompter to help me. So that's another way that I try to make my streaming a little more simpler for me. But that's about it for the most part. What about you, Kevin?
Well, unlike the two of you, I'm not a Stream Deck user, but I am a vMix user. And vMix has a lot of that functionality built into the software itself, such as triggers for each of the scenes. So you can enter a scene and it turns on your audio. It will uh, make an animation go on. And the best part is you can actually use that and connect it onto your Wi-Fi or your network that you're actually using. Thus, you can actually use an old iPad to create buttons for your stream, which act exactly like a Stream Deck. Like, for instance, it's mighty cold in here because of all the snow, and all I did was just press a button on my iPad. So, using old tech is sort of what I'm all about. So being able to use that, but the functionality and the concept behind it, exactly like the Stream Deck. So I'm looking forward to maybe some tips and tricks and ideas that Dory's going to be coming up with today that I could possibly implement and use in a vMix scenario. So definitely looking forward to that. So if this is a type of content that you'd like to see more of, please consider hitting that subscribe button and also that notification bell so you know exactly when we go live.
Well, I am really, really excited about tonight because I'm not going to lie, it kind of sort of forced me to reorganize my Stream Deck life. And isn't that part of what this channel is all about? Like using what we do here in real life to improve our own process, right? So tonight, I want to focus on some more advanced features of the Stream Deck that we have available to us. Before we get started, I do want to say hello to Miss Anna, who's joining us again. And my cousin Joey hopping on to say hello, peeps. That's not this stream, Joey, but we're saying hello anyways. P.S. It's good morning, peeps. Get it right. Um, anyways, so tonight what we're going to focus on is some of the more advanced features. For example, creating folders, creating multi-action buttons, multi-action switches, and using what's known as hotkeys. Now, there's several terms that hotkey can refer to. It can refer to a macro, it can refer to a keybind, but in particular in the Stream Deck software, they call it a hotkey. So before I switch over and show you my Stream Deck software, I do want to just clarify a couple things. There is a little bit of confusion on the part of some people when they are discussing multi-action versus multi-action switch. Some people don't realize that there is actually a difference and two different functions inside Stream Deck. And the same holds true for hotkeys. You can create a single hotkey command, or you can create what's called a hotkey switch. For the sake of just simplicity, this is it, bottom line. Multi-action versus multi-action switch. A multi-action will create a series of events that occur with just one single click of a button on your Stream Deck. Wait till you see what my Stream Deck does for me with one push of a button. It will blow your minds. Now, a switch, on the other hand, is basically like, if you think of it like a light switch. You toggle it one way, you turn the light on. You toggle it the other way, you turn the light off. It's one button, but the first time you press it, you're doing action A. The second time you press it, you're doing action B. And it doesn't just have to be on-off. It could be, for example, switching between scene A and scene B. If you are someone that toggles between two scenes very often in your streaming, creating a multi-action switch or a hotkey switch would allow you to do that by saving valuable real estate on your Stream Deck screen. Okay. A lot of times people use switches if they have one of the smaller option Stream Decks, or if they have a ton of buttons already programmed on there and their space is, let's call it limited. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to just hop over here and let me use my Stream Deck to change my scene. And what you are currently seeing is you are currently seeing my Stream Deck software. And the view that I have up right now is actually my C3 profile. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you my main home screen for my Stream Deck that is on by default. And then I'm going to walk you through the process of recreating some of it. So you can switch your profiles in a couple different places. I know it's kind of hidden on my screen under my glasses up there, but if you click up here, you can see I have all of these profiles created in my Stream Deck. Okay. However, if you notice in the top right corner, right here, I have a home button. I basically save this spot on my Stream Deck to take me back to my main screen. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to push that, and it's now going to take you back to my main screen. In this regard, this is where I go to start things, and this is kind of where some of the magic is going to happen. So right here, you see there is a folder called Deck Profiles, and it looks like the picture of a file folder. I'm going to double click that. Inside here, I have all of my main profiles in my Stream Deck that I use most often. And I've also customized them with small icons. Okay, so in this case, this is Kevin's profile for when he is doing his main presenting on the C3 channel. This one's mine, and here's Manny's. And then underneath that, I have some of my other profiles that I use for my other streams. And then this one is what I use when I am doing my D&D streams Wednesday nights with my D&D club. Okay, so basically, I've created a folder, and inside this folder, I have added all of these profiles. Now, I can easily get back by hitting the back button on my Stream Deck, or I can hit this Home tab, which takes me back to my main screen. So creating a folder is quite simple. Literally, you can either right-click on the Stream Deck and choose Create Folder, or you can come over here in the right-hand side of the screen. This is where a lot of your plugins and a lot of your actions exist. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look down here where it says Navigation. Okay. In the navigation area, I can choose Create Folder, and I can drag it wherever I want it to be on the Stream Deck. By the way, you have a lot of autonomy here. You can move this before you create it. You can move it after you create it. It doesn't matter. Okay. So once you have a folder there, one of the key pieces of advice I would give is always label everything. Even if you don't have the name show up, it's important to label it. So in this case, we are going to label it profiles, okay? And I'm basically going to show you how I created those deck profiles right now. So I'm going to double click on the folder, and now I'm on a blank screen. I have an up arrow, which is always going to take me up one level, back one level. So how do I do this? Well, if you look here, okay, there are all sorts of things inside the Stream Deck software. There's a navigation area, which basically gives you the simplistic functionality of a Stream Deck. What are the simple things you can do? You can switch to a different profile. You can go to a previous page and next page. This is just general navigation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Switch Profile, and I'm going to drag it out here. Now, down here is what the icon currently looks like. There's no title, and the option allows you to either go to the next profile, or you can specifically choose one. I'm going to pick Kevin's I'm going to put Kevin's name here. And what I'm going to do is I can either choose an icon that already exists inside the Stream Deck library, okay? Or I can put my own image in there. So we're going to say, for the sake of this, Kevin is the purple king. He's wearing the crown tonight, right? And then I'm just going to close it, and that's it. Now, you can choose to also turn that name off. Like, I know that Kevin is the purple king, so I don't necessarily need to see his name. I can just leave the icon there and have that speak for itself. Okay? And then I'm going to just rinse and repeat. I'm going to drag this out, and now I'm going to title it Dori, and then I'm going to pick my C3 profile. And in this case, I may take and drag an image into there instead. Okay? And I'm going to turn off the name, or better yet, I can put the name up there. I can change the color of it to be, oh, my colors are way over here on my other screen. Purple, which I can't read, but that's okay. So there's all sorts of customization you can do in here. When you're finished, all you do is just double click, and there's your folder. And the minute you update something in the software, it updates real time on your Stream Deck, which is beautiful. So I could use that folder right now. And when I click the button, you can see it changes on my screen. And then if I want to go back, I hit that, and there I am. Okay. So it's really helpful if you want to organize different profiles. If you stream or manage streams for a lot of people, this would be a very useful tool, a very quick way to switch your profiles in your Stream Deck. I would highly encourage you to get organized with profiles. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, you might notice down here in the bottom right corner, hang on just a second here. Let me go back. Oh, you know what? While we're here, let me show you another tool. So I have a folder called Pro Mouse. This button right here is actually a multi-action switch. So what I have done is I have created a situation where the first time I press the button, it's going to open the software. Pro Mouse is a little bit wonky, and so it's nice to have the option to quickly turn it on and reopen it and close it if it's hung up on you. So I created a switch, super easy. Action 1, you come over here to where it says multi-action, and you, sorry, where's my multi-action? Oh, that's because I'm in the switch. Let me create a new one. There we go. Okay, so multi-action. I'm going to take and I'm going to create a multi-action switch. Now, as soon as you do that, your menu changes, okay? Now you have the ability to go up here under System, and these are all of the actions that you can do with your multi-action switch. So I'm going to drag open, and what that does is it allows me to choose an application that I want to open with this button. So in this case, I'm going to just come down here, and we will pick, where are you? We'll say Messenger. It can literally be any app, any piece of software on your computer. And now what I'm going to do is up here, I'm going to hit the number 2. So the first time I press the button, it's going to open Facebook Messenger. The second time I click the button, it's going to close Facebook Messenger. So now in this case, I'm going to drag close. I'm going to go and select the exact same software. Oh, what is happening on my computer? Oh no, it's locked up on me. Sorry guys, my computer is currently frozen.
Might have to stop it or something.
Can you see that?
We can
Yep,
see that it's
see
definitely
it.
frozen.
Okay. Let me do a
Yeah, that
quick.
happens to me sometimes.
Oh no. Ah, oh no, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Is it just the Stream Deck software that's frozen?
Yeah. Yep. Hang tight. I may have fixed it. Okay, I think I fixed it. Let me put this window back where you guys can see it.
There we go.
Okay. All right. You guys should be able to see that now. All right. And we go back to here. Oh, thank God. Thank God.
There we go.
Yes. Okay. 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 We love technology, everyone. We love technology.
Truth.
All right. So basically what I have done is I've now created a multi-action switch. Okay. Now in this particular case, there's no label on it unless I put this. And you can change the size of the font. You can do different things to make it actually fit on the page. So that's a multi-action switch. Now this is a switch I just added an icon to. So in this case, if I were to click this, it would open Messenger the first time. And you notice how the icon lights up there. And there's my Messenger. And now I'm going to push the button again. And it quits my Messenger. Just like that in the blink of an eye. So ProMouse is a multi-action switch. And I've built a folder that has all of my actions in it for ProMouse. All right. Now, this is really cool because this is something that a lot of times people do not realize that you have this capability. You can actually, once you create something in the system, you can actually copy and paste it to another profile. So in this case, I have a spotlight that I can do with my ProMouse. And basically the spotlight does this feature. It really has someone focus in, right? You can do a zoom. So if I want, or a halo around your cursor to really emphasize it, or you can zoom in on a particular part of the page. If I want to have this function in another profile, all I need to do is right click and choose copy. And then I can switch to a profile. I can click on an open button, right click and paste it. And to prove that it works, there it is. As soon as you paste it, the functionality is there. So these are just a few ways that you can set up folders and multi-action switches. Now I want to spend a little bit of time on the multi-action button itself. If you guys see here, I have, I have a multi-action button called Stream. I'm going to double click on that so you guys can see what's actually in here. And actually, hang on just a second. What I am going to do is I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to just paste it here just so I can utilize that while I'm in here. So basically what you see here is you see a series of events, okay? And let me just move this over a little bit so you guys can see that a little bit more. When I want to set my system up to prepare for a stream, I have set the system to open my eCam software, open Firefox, that's my default browser, open my Stream Deck software, and then I have it close 3 programs that I know are very heavy in terms of memory usage on my computer. My Set app, my Adobe Creative Cloud, and my Clean My Mac software that runs in the background. I force those 3 programs to close. That way I know that my system is using the most resources in the direction of my stream. So I set that up simply by using the same features I did with the multi-action switch. I would go to System, I would drag Open, and then choose the application down here, just like I demonstrated with multi-action switch. And the same thing with the Close. So that's the multi-action that runs when I first walk in. I log into my computer, I push that button because this is my home screen that comes up on my Stream Deck as soon as my computer powers up. I push that stream button and all of my programs load, and then the other ones close in the background that I do not need. And now the coup de grace. This one I love. All of my lights have been automated with the push of a button. Now, I just want to share with you guys, I don't want anyone to be overwhelmed when I double click this. There are a lot of actions in here, okay? So one of the reasons why I want to share this with you is because a lot of people believe that the only lights that can be controlled with an Elgato Stream Deck are Elgato lights, and that is just simply not the case. So all of the lights that I have up here in front of me are in fact Elgato lights, and they're all controlled with this first line in the multi-action button. That will turn on all of my Elgato lights. I also use IFTTT to talk to some smart plugs that I have in the room. My smart plugs turn on, and then if you notice farther down, I also have Govee lights and I have nano leaf panels in my back screen. All of those are controlled within this multi-action, and I have this set as a switch as well because I did not want to create two different buttons for turning on my lights and turning off. So I just created a toggle button. It saves important real estate. But the way you set it up is exactly the same. So I'm going to demonstrate this for you guys right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flash over to my profile by pushing a button on my Stream Deck. And I am going to then go to my main, and I'm going to, oh, shabam. Hang on. I just realized that I cannot do that because I am in two different places at once. Haha. Okay, now I'm good. So I am going to hit lights, and my entire studio goes dark, kind of eerie, except for my hair light up above my head. And now with another push of a button, everything boots up and it's ready to rock and roll, including my little sign back here that has my C3 on it, all of my lights, and then my nano leaf. I have a delay set so that in a few seconds it will actually reset to my C3 light scene that I have created. So now let me go back into my actual C3 area here and go back to my screen. So basically what I did was I automated all of it, and I have 4 different brand of lights, 5 different brands of lights all working in conjunction off of one button on my Stream Deck. And then the last piece that I want to share with you guys. Y'all see our cute, adorable little faces down here in the corner again? Okay, so what that area is set to do is it is set to change my eCam profile. So I have my Stream Deck profiles for my buttons, and I have my eCam profiles for all of my scenes and everything else. So what I do is if Kevin's presenting or if I'm presenting or Manny, all I do is I push our face, and what happens is eCam will change to that person's profile. So if you notice right here, I choose my profile. I set a delay, a pause, because what I want to do is I want to give the system a chance to load that profile. And it's done in milliseconds. So I have 1000 milliseconds equals 1 second. So I wait 1 second, and then I have it run a specific scene. So when I first come in and I push that button, it loads our 3 heads so that when the guys come in, we're all on screen so we can talk to each other. And then I have another delay, and then I have it go to specifically my C3 profile. So profile, and then my C3 profile. So that is a multi-action instead of a switch. So there's no on and off toggle for that. Once I push that, that's what it is. And if I were to push Manny's, it would completely break the system and the computer would scratch its head, because we are currently in the middle of a live stream on my profile with my scenes. So I really, really love the use of a Stream Deck. And to be totally honest with you guys, I really think that there is so much more to this than just switching scenes. And I know that that is one of the main reasons why people first invest in a product like a Stream Deck. But I hope through trainings like this, people see that the benefits and the options that exist out there are exponential at this point. So after seeing some of these advanced features for the Stream Deck, I would love it if you guys would tell me one way you both think you could implement a tool like this into your workflow. And we'll go to Manny first.
Well, I will say right out of the gate, that was some great stuff. And for, for me, my struggle is if it seems like there's so much to learn, it takes me so long to start that process. So like for me in the Stream Deck, I literally have been just trying to like, all right, put a scene here, make sure that when I press this button, it goes to that scene. That's it. Like I just use it for live streaming. You went way deeper than I use this thing for. So I do want to say at the same time, like if anyone felt like this was a lot, it could be as simple as you want, like I use it, or as deep as you want. It like you blew my mind with those lights. I'm like, my gosh, that would be so cool. But then the back was like, now you got to get all the lights. My mind just started thinking about all the different things. Like you got to learn how to do this. You might have to do a training here, and so that's where it's like, wow. But like, how difficult was it for you to learn? Do you have to be techie? Let me ask you that. I can get by. I definitely would not call me a techie person like you guys. Do you have to be techie?
No. So I paused for just a second. So you have to have basic functionality. So you have to be able to like drag and drop. You have to understand how something is working. And then basically between the Elgato Marketplace and what's in the Stream Deck by default, it's fairly intuitive. I would say that. And I know that I know that I did broad strokes over some advanced things tonight. I'm happy to go into more depth with this in the future, but just to show you what's out there and available. But if you think about it, if you think about how you organize stuff on your computer, organizing things on the Stream Deck is exactly the same. So if you use Google Drive a lot, which you said you do, you create folders and you put items inside those folders. You create a folder on the Stream Deck, you put items inside that folder that all marry and work together. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a little bit of setup to do some of the automation, but then once it's done, it's done.
I was even gonna ask, like, wow, she used this thing to blow up her work, so we can see it better. And then later you showed it was like the Stream Deck doing it. I'm like, this thing is awesome. Like all these little things. Now I think I did have the pro account. Is that what you like for even advanced like sounds and things like that? I know I was paying for something at one time to use this Stream Deck with something where I had more buttons to I can get really creative with sound. What is that what you were referred to when you said like pro or something like that?
So, well, Pro Mouse is the name of the tool that I use on the Mac. So that's
Okay,
available in the app, the Mac store. Um,
gotcha.
but no, the Pro account, I'm wondering if you're specifically referencing sounds, if you're talking about voice mod,
Yes,
which you
that
can
is it.
buy.
That is it.
I
Yes, that
That
is
is
it.
on the docket, my friend. We are
Okay,
doing that in a future
okay.
episode. So
Right on.
I'm
Okay, that
really
is what
excited
it
about
was.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
you definitely showed me a lot of things that I could use, going with a deeper dive. I am someone who like DaVinci Resolve. Right now, I'm learning this. Right, I'm still learning this Mac. I'm still learning the different things. I use Filmora a lot on PC, so I still use vMix. Triggers I did find to be a little more challenging for the basic part compared to Stream Deck because I use vMix every single week. But I don't use the Stream Deck or just because I'm running someone else's show. But I saw where it's like when it came to setting up, I know I got a little discouraged because, as you can see with my personality, if I can't just figure it out right away, I don't know when I'm going to put 5 hours again into something. And so, like, I always like to just find that little time. Okay, I need to learn this one specific thing right now. Let me
Mhm.
go focus on that one specific thing. So when I had to learn panning on DaVinci Resolve, finally, because at first I was like, all right, let me learn how to cut. I just want to cut and keep and export. And then when I was ready to start panning and zooming, I went to well, hello YouTube, right? And so that's where I feel like even with this Stream Deck, there's so much power behind it. You literally
Mhm.
just showed so much. And as a true crime creator, like imagine being able to mess with the lights, right? Like, okay, I'm getting a little deep here. I want this particular song to start at this time with the touch of a button and not having to look where that thing is, right? Like I get caught in that moment a lot in live streaming because of number one, like I guess I probably put too much time there and then I'm late here. But, I love what you share. So, yes, my answer is that was a little long winded, but my answer is definitely I can see me using this in a very productive ways for my live streaming, for my clients, production and just making easy buttons to be pressed. What about you, Kevin?
Well, like I said, I'm not a Stream Deck user, but a lot of the concepts are definitely the same with how I actually program vMix in terms of like setting up profiles, multi-action buttons. Absolutely love that. And that's something that I'm not able to do as much as a Stream Deck would. So that is definitely a plus of getting a Stream Deck for that. And the programs that you hooked up with it, it's like you're just touching, like you're at the tip of the iceberg of everything that you discussed today, which was freaking awesome. So I know there's going to be more streams like this that go dive deeper into how do you do this, like you say, like the voice mod, the pro mouse feature as well. It's like, okay, you just need to link it to the program that's on your computer. It's like it's a very simple concept, but yet it's such a huge tool to be able to use for your live streams. Like you said, it just highlights or puts a halo around somewhere that you want to um, have focus on. I can definitely see that as a benefit. Um, what else? Um, and I did throw in some questions in our chat as well, so we will be getting to those. But being able to do not only just streaming software, but connecting external things such as lights, And one of the big questions that I had was, are you able to connect assistants to that, like the G one, the S one, the A one, that sort of thing?
I saw your question and I did star it while you guys were talking. So um I have not successfully been able to do that. So I also have, as you know, as a Mac user, I have the S1, but I also have access to the A1, um, and I have in the past used voice commands to activate lights and so on and so forth. And I still can do that if, like, let's say I want to come in and just turn on lights and my computer is turned off. I can still do that. However, the ability, like if you go to the Elgato Marketplace store, you cannot search for those assistants and have any sort of plug-in for the Stream Deck. Now, I will tell you there's one thing for the Mac specifically that I know is available in the store, and that is the shortcuts. So on a Mac, you can run shortcuts, which you can do it on a mobile device, but there's also software for the desktop, and that functionality will work as long as the application that's running the shortcut is on your desktop computer. So
Like I was going to say,
yeah,
because it's an Apple ecosphere, I think those run well together, such as like the Home app, for instance, to be able to, because you can connect the Home app to lights to different things as well. So I can see you can use that connected to a Stream Deck for like what Manny was saying. It's like, yeah, I'd just like to dim the lights to enhance an atmosphere for something on his true crime. He's like, yeah, we're getting into something dark and serious, so I just want to dim those lights and have more of a focus. But yeah, whether you use an assistant or whether you use the like Govi or Elgato, whatever lights that you do have connected to that. So
one of the things that I didn't necessarily showcase was I have a lighting folder. And inside that lighting folder, I have profiles set up for each of my main streams. So inside that folder, I click one button, and when I'm doing my D&D stuff, my front lights aren't quite as bright. I want to give a little bit more of a dim atmosphere. My lights in the back have a different theme. My side lights. So with one push of a button, all of those lights change profiles and they switch to the scene indicative for that. So the ability, I noticed there was another question in there regarding the lights, Kevin, about whether or not you can program, colors as well, or just the on-off capability. And you can choose a button to dim, to brighten, to change the light color. Basically, if it's available in the app that you use to manipulate the light, you can do the same thing with the buttons on the Stream Deck.
very cool. You're
Yeah.
selling me more and more on getting a Stream Deck.
By the way, you don't have to have a physical Stream Deck. You can use a mobile version, and you can do the exact same thing through the use of your phone or an iPad. So you can do a virtual deck. You don't have to have a physical deck with the buttons on it. So I just I got way behind on the comments here, and I didn't address any of them while I was streaming. So I'm just going to scroll back up to the top. Anna gave us an exploding brain emoji here, and I'm not exactly sure at what point that was in reference to. Manny made a couple comments about loving the Stream Deck, and as you mentioned, maybe not utilizing it to its maximum potential. Kevin, this is an interesting question I do want to address. So you said, do I basically have two buttons on each screen reserved for navigation, such as home and back? And the answer is yes. So part of it has to do with, and Manny, you brought this up about having to like fumble and look for buttons and things and breaking eye contact. It's part of what happens with your Stream Deck is it becomes muscle memory for you. And I talked about this in the first video that we did about the Stream Deck. but I know that that top right button is always my button that's going to take me home. I know that my bottom right button on my stream profiles is always the button that's going to start and end my streams. So those two places are dedicated. And then basically for me, I work top to bottom, left to right in the order that I know things are happening in my stream. Just my OCD kicking in. Nothing to see here, just my OCD. Kevin is in love with the drag and drop. How about the copy and paste? Like, how amazing is that? Once you get something set up for one, being able to copy and paste it onto multiple profiles, I kind of sort of stumbled onto that skill. I didn't necessarily know that it existed, and I thought, oh, what the hell? I'm going to try this, and it worked. And so I was incredibly happy about that.
And can you copy and paste profiles as well? Like, for instance, for us, can you create one for yourself and then, well, it's going to be the same for Manny and the same for Kevin, just a couple little tweaks. So it's just a right
Yep.
click copy, can create a new
So
profile.
basically, when you go into here, you can hit edit profiles, and oh, it opened over here. You can see these are all my profiles. If I click on one, I have the ability to right click and duplicate it, and then I can just rename it. So yeah, totally an option. The CPU intensive apps, yeah, that's big. You can even track your CPU usage on the Stream Deck with a button. You can have that show right up on your screen. It'll give you like pings every 5 seconds if you want to check your internet stability and things. It's super awesome. Andrew! Hey!
That's
Andrew
so funny. I was
stopping in to
just thinking
say
about him.
hey. So basically, Andrew says he loves his Stream Deck. I know you do. We hit that one. And do you use, oh, you asked Andrew if he used multiple profiles, and he does. And let's see. Okay, so Anna said she's a little intimidated, Manny. She's right there with you. A little intimidated. But I will say there are 1,000 tutorials out there. You can go back and rewatch this at a little bit of a slower speed if you need to kind of watch how all those actions happen. Andrew says, yeah, he loves the copy and paste. Yeah, it's an amazing tool. It really is. So I really hope that you guys got some value out of this, and not necessarily just for the how to create a folder, a multi-action, the hotkeys, which I kind of sort of dropped the ball on. We can focus on them at another time. It's as simple as dragging the button and basically clicking the buttons on your keyboard, and it records just like a macro does. And that's how I created all my Pro Mouse things, was with the hotkeys. So in the program, my hotkey is Option Z to zoom. I did a drag and drop for the hotkey, told it that it was Option Z, and wha-bam, there it is. So I really hope, like I said, it was very helpful to all of you. And I need to switch over to my profile. Good thing I have 10,000 windows open on 10,000 monitors here. So, if you are interested in using a Stream Deck and you want a refresher on how to get started with the basics, then I encourage you to check out the video that I did not too long ago, September 10th. It was entitled Stream Deck Essentials, Elevate Your Content Creation and Productivity Game. The link is being dropped in the comments below. That would be a great place to start on your Stream Deck journey.
And if you enjoy content like this and are finding it useful, we would love it if you'd like and subscribe. And sharing our content is also a great way to spread the love. So visit our website for more information on how you can connect with us, as it is showing right there, linktree/content creators. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and X. And also drop down in the comments some topic ideas for us to dive deep into as well. We would love to see what kind of things are on your mind and what we can discuss in our future streams.
And thank you so much for joining Content Creators Connect, aka C3, tonight, as Dori demonstrated some fun holiday themed frames that you are able to like really step it up and help yourself in this online Stream Deck world so that you could be a little more proficient than I am. So if you just play back this video, you're truly going to understand how to go through this. I know I will play this, but we will return next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I will be sharing with you the 3 big ways that I use ChatGPT for my video optimization, how I come up with titles, how I come up with description, how I come up with tags. And I'm also going to share with you, whenever I send out an email, sometimes I want to make sure my tone is right. I'm going to share with you the tool that I use to make sure I sound a little more professional and coming across the way I want to come across. So make sure that you join us next week because we will be multicasting live to YouTube, Facebook, and X. So be sure to join us next week. Until then, we urge you to identify and lean into your 3 C's. Start today creating unique content that builds connections and breaks down those barriers. See you next week. Bye-bye. Peace.
Bye.
See ya.